Season 2! What? Welcome back to the Hey Arnold vlogs. In this episode, I'm going to just blow through in a couple episodes, see how far I get, and hope you guys enjoy hearing my 2 cents as usual. Before I get in, I just wanted to talk about a couple little things I noticed that were right off the bat that were different between seasons 1 and 2. For one, the animation seemed a little different. I don't know, like the colors seemed a bit uglier. But wait, why am I starting with a con? I mean, it's not really a con, it's just a little thing I noticed. It might just be me. Let's start with the bigger concepts. For one, I noticed that the side characters are getting a lot more lines. Like, not necessarily stories or episodes, but like the little background characters, like the guy with the southern accent, or that little kid with the glasses. Like, they're all getting a bit more lines. Like, they'll get a line here, a bit more action episode here. And I think it's a nice thing. Also, we're getting a lot more of the kids in school. Like, in the first season, we got a lot of them on the streets. But in this season, at least from the first couple episodes I've seen, that we seem to be getting a lot more of them, their lives, in and around school. And I think that's kind of interesting. Also, I noticed a couple voice switch outs. Like, a couple of the actors' voices sounded different. I don't know if the actors aged or if they just switched actors out because the actors' voices changed. Like, notice specifically Arnold and Eugene's voices I thought sounded considerably different. Particularly Arnold. His voice sounded a bit softer. The pitch sounded different. So without further ado, let's kick things off with some talk about the environment. In Save the Tree, in this episode, Arnold and the gang have this tree house that they build in the one tree in the city. And all is going well until Mr. Pataki wants to knock it down so he can build his own shopping area or whatever. And Arnold, of course, is putting his foot down like, no, we can't do this. You can't build a tree. Here, this tree means way too much to us, but Mr. Pataki is dead set on it. So Arnold and his friends start protesting with some help from Arnold's grandma, of course. But it doesn't work, so they go out to the tree one last night, and Mr. Pataki just turns out he was planning on knocking it down at midnight for some reason. And Arnold, his friends, and Helga all decide they're going to stand their ground in the tree, and if Mr. Pataki's taking him down, they're going to go down too. And the grandma, and through some help of the kids and the grandma, they're able to take down the bulldozer that's going to hit the tree. And the day is saved, thanks to Arnold and the gang. But Mr. Pataki just decides to build it in this vacant lot where the kids play ball. And I thought this was a cute episode. It wasn't, particularly well written or anything, but it was one I could personally relate to. I live in a suburban town, but you wouldn't know it because they're constantly knocking stuff down trees to build stuff. Like, I remember when there was a lot of landlocked trees, they knocked trees down to build a retirement center, knocked trees down to build more housing. But we've just seen like 2 or 3 quick checks built in my area. Like, literally, we knocked down 2 buildings to build a quick check, we knocked down a bunch of trees to build another quick check, and then there's the quick check that already was there. And there's a part of me, it's like, why do we need to knock stuff down? What's wrong with the way things are? And some of the buildings are nice, and my neighborhood's turning into a shopping mall. This also kind of reminded me a bit of the premise for the Hey Arnold movie. I haven't seen it, but from what I hear, it's very similar. It's a big money business guy who wants to knock everything down to build a bunch of new stuff. Although, from the trailers and stuff, I mean, I don't want to talk too much about the movie until I see it, which I am going to see the Hey Arnold movie at some point, don't worry. That just seemed a lot more far-fetched, like Arnold the gang are spies, secret agents, doing all this action stuff, and that doesn't feel like Hey Arnold. Again, I'm just going off of the trailers and stuff, which I remember seeing a lot of as a kid. This is a bit more grounded, and it was a great episode showing what Arnold does best, which is child empowerment, where you have the kid, standing up for what they believe in with protesting. And, it's a great lesson to show kids where if there's something you believe strongly in, stand up and fight for it. And the kid, I mean, okay, the kids go to a very big extreme, not too big an extreme, but a pretty bold extreme. Like, you're gonna literally put your life on the line for a tree. That's pretty powerful, but it's also, again, for a kid, it's like, being told, hey, if there's something you feel strongly about, go stand up for it. It's great. And it was enjoyable to see Grandma get on it, too, especially at the end when she swings onto the bulldozer and knocks it over. There's also the cute bit where Helga jumps into Arnold's arms like a Scooby-Doo episode. And for once, Gerald was a supportive character. As I mentioned, I wasn't a huge fan of Gerald in the last season. This season, at least so far, like, there's been a couple instances where he's been a very supportive friend, which is good. I also like how the bit at the end where it's like lots another place where the kids use. It's another spot that the kids use for something. I like how every part of the city's a spot where they use it for something. Like, literally no matter what Mr. Pataki does, they'll knock it down. You can find a bunch of places to play ball. And I also like how we got to see the kids in their pajamas. There seems to be a bit more given to the animation this season as far as just showing the characters in different outfits. Like, there's a later episode where we see them in biking outfits. In case you're wondering, I've watched a handful of the episodes already. I just haven't had time to record my thoughts. But yeah, that's all I have to say. But before I go, I just had a quick question. When you watch this episode, if you grew up watching Hey Arnold and you saw this season 2 for the first time, like, did you find the voice change for Arnold jarring at all, or was it one of those things you really didn't notice? And also, have you ever had that instance where a place that's really near and dear to you get knocked down? Please share your thoughts below in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And please join me in the next vlog when I'll talk about New Teacher, which serves as the introduction to what appears to be a reoccurring character. So I'll see you then. Until then, take care.